Okay, so see our wrestling commentary here, Cedric and Cedra, and Cedra had a question about injuries concerning Dante Martin and AEW and speaking on them. So, go ahead, girl.
So we watched Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. Took some time. We know we're behind. That's fine. Watched it. Saw what happened to Dante Martin. With his leg fracture. That's just, what we saw visibly. We haven't read anything about it. Fast forward.
Yeah.
We watched Dynamite.
We'll get back to the leg injury in a moment, but yeah.
Fast forward. We watched Dynamite. Watched the whole show. They don't say anything about it.
You speak up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Watched the whole show. They didn't say anything about it.
The audience wants to hear your voice.
And I asked Cedric, was it normal for the commentary team to not say anything after an injury?
And what I was explaining was that they learned to shut the fuck up. Normally what happens is there's an injury and then they will spam it on Twitter, everything else, and then on the show. Now, they're learning to be quiet about it. And the way an injury usually works is this. Person gets legit hurt. They're going to be out for a bit. Who's the one that hurt them? If you can get something out of that, then on the final 2 weeks to a month of their rehab and coming back, you start to talk about what happened, how they hurt them, building up to it, and then they come back and start cutting promos and whatnot to build up to the match to make money on it. That's what normally happens. But AEW, y'all hate this all you want. No one listens to this stuff anyway. But they're marks for themselves and everything else. There are people in AEW that want to do good, that want to build a legacy. That's not what's happening. By and large, the idiots have more say than the intellectuals. So nothing's going to be said. And then if anything is said, they'll show it. They'll talk about it, maybe Rampage or Dark or the following Dynamite or something, or the next Ring of Honor show, yada yada yada. Okay, that's what's normally gonna happen. So you don't get a chance to, we suffered a loss on our roster because of an injury. Here's what happened, yada yada yada. Show it. This happened. Oh my God, that had to have been bad. What does this mean for their career? Yada, yada, yada. And that's when they explain, hey, we found out that, yes, they're hurt and they're going to be out for some time, but they are scheduled to make a full recovery. So they are coming back. This is not career injury. This is not career ending. So stay tuned, okay? Yada, yada. So that's how that could go if they want to do things a little right. Any other questions? Anything else before I go into something else?
I just acknowledge that, they don't say anything about the injury when it happens. But then when the person is about to come back or coming back, they wring all of that out that they can. Adam Cole came back a full month before he was cleared to come back. Just talking.
Yeah. He came back a month before he was cleared because they knew within a month's time he'd be clear.
And just showed up telling stories with his crow's feet. Eating up time. I don't like him. There you go. So Adam Page.
Yeah.
They did worse for him. Come out fighting. You're not cleared yet. Next week, come out fighting. You're not cleared yet. Got the buff doctor looking at his eyes like he's gonna clear him right there if he's even a damn doctor. And what is it, Soraya?
Soraya, yeah.
Soraya, she was worse than that.
Yeah,
It's just a waste.
So here's the thing, y'all. If anyone listening, all right, what happened to Dante Martin was that during the Supercard of Honor, the Reach for the Sky ladder match, the stunt show that they do, because I listened to the Young Bucks talk about, wrestling, I wish it was a little faker because then we wouldn't get hurt. You wouldn't get hurt if you didn't do stupid shit. Like this table, the double table stack, 2 rows, and Pentagon with the Canadian Destroyer onto the tables using Dante, and it was real high. It's a risk.
It was at least 7 feet high.
Bottom barrel least. From the floor to the top rope, not the post, but the top rope is 10 feet. Just keep that in mind. So he flips off the top rope onto the tables. Martin lands, and Dante Martin, if you watch every single one of his matches, when he lands from a stunt move, his feet and legs are always in the most awkward unsafe position. Watch all of them. Tell me if I'm lying. All right? It's always, watch this match. I was like, why does he keep landing like that? It was just weird. So then when he lands on this, because normally after something like this, you want to straighten your body out. Mm-hmm. A professional wrestler tries to straighten their body out so they don't land awkwardly. That's why the flat back bump is so important. That's why when you're going to take a face plant, you are straight. If you're going to fall on your side, they try to fall either straight or slightly curled, but nothing tucked up underneath. It's been that way for all of pro wrestling. The young people don't know that, or they don't care to learn it. So when he lands, Dante lands, and it's a shock. I promise you, he barely felt it at first. He lands, and he rolls his foot and his body in the wrong directions, and his foot is 180 degrees rotated from his normal position. He rolls over onto his knees, onto almost both knees, and his toes are facing his ass.
Of one leg.
Just one leg that we could see. Mm-hmm. He's clutching at it, but he don't know how bad it is. And if you watch it, his boot is thick. Mm-hmm. Now, his foot is bent down a little bit. That boot looked like maybe he stuffed another shin in it, in that one spot above the instep. What that shows, what Cedra surmised, is a compound fracture.
Quite possibly.
It's either compound or it was bent at an angle where it didn't come through the leg, but it pushed the skin up. All right, that's what that shows. Dante Martin got a severe breakage of the tibia and fibia low, just above the ankle. Have I read any reports? Have I seen anything? No. But I've broken. No, my leg was broken. I didn't break it. That'd be stupid. Look at you. Good leg. Time to ruin this? No. My leg was broken, twisted, snapped in half. Tibia, fibia, broken. No twisting. Maybe some scrapage of the skin on the inside, but nothing compound. Fortunate. So yeah, I know he heard it. I know he probably felt a tug because his was quick. Mm-hmm. And then, wait, what? Give it 15 seconds. The shock wears off. The body, it sends, the antibodies go into full effect.
Edema begins.
What?
Edema begins swelling.
Yep. and that area, and it's going to be sweating. It's going to be strangling itself. It's going to be swollen like crazy. And he's going to feel like kicked shit. And not one part of him is brilliant enough to say, I shouldn't have done that. I don't need to do things that are too high risk for something that's not a payoff.
The flippy floppy guys, they can do their flippy floppy. They don't ever seem to have basic wrestling skills. So that shows me they're not a fully trained wrestler, and they're not anyway trained stuntmen. So they don't know how to do shit right.
That's what's happening now. How is it best to go about using this? All right. How is it best to use this? If I was a promoter, okay, if you watch the Card of Honor, this might be some spoilers, but here we go. How would I use this? Okay, Penta and Phoenix, they won the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Okay, Penta's the one that did the Destroyer. Martin is out. Okay, it's easy. This is right. Like, this writes itself. All you got to do, because Martin's going to be out for a maximum of 4 months, a minimum of 3. That's about how that's going to go. My leg was healed in 3 months. I was fully able to walk on it without worry in 4. So, what you do is, on the final month, okay, he's walking. There's no cast. He's got the rehab. He could rehab that in 2 weeks. I know. In a month, he should be like back in training. He should have already had a weekend of training. So he can, promos and whatnot with Darius and whatnot. My brother's coming back. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. Until then, there could be small promos and little matches here and there, you know, with Darius Martin doing singles matches on Dark, and then Rampage, and then Dynamite for the last month. And that last month, he can start cutting promos saying that my brother's coming back, and he and I are going to get revenge for what you did to him. You don't make it a cage match. That'd be stupid. No gimmicks, no nothing. We're going to get you. We're going to take those belts from you. You owe us. You owe us. You owe us 1 busted leg and 4 months downtime. That's money out of our pockets, money out of our family's mouths. So you owe us, and we're going to collect properly. So then he has a few matches here and there on Dynamite. One against Phoenix, another, you know, and Penta can interfere, or no one interfere. It's just obvious things didn't work out. No other tag teams need to be involved. They have another match. Dante Martin could be there at ringside, and he gets the win. He got the boost from his brother, so it's doable. Then he goes against Pentagon. All right. He wins against Pentagon. You got forward momentum going. Then Martin and Darius are cutting promos. After they cut some promos, then all of a sudden it's the next week. That's going to be the match. They got momentum going in. They do their thing. They wrestle. No stupid, nothing. They get the job done and lose. But they put on a valiant effort. And then the storyline can keep going little by little with tag teams trying to hold them down, hold them back, get in the way and get a shot instead of them. And then that can bleed into other things. But it writes itself. Does that seem like a worthy thing to you, Cedra? Does that sound like a...
If it tells a story, it's a slow growing thing, not, we mad, we fight, it's over.
Yeah, we came back. No one said anything, but we came back. We had a cage match, and we did all this stuff in there, and it's over. And we're not going to talk about it anymore. That's what they do, and that's without a storyline. So it writes itself. The injury is messed up. Did he deserve it? No. Does he need it? No, because he ain't going to learn from it. He ain't going to learn from it. He ain't going to calm. He ain't going to chill. He's not going to learn to say, look, I'm a grown-ass man and I'm not doing this. This I'm not doing. They're trying to get noticed. They're trying to get over, and they don't know what that is. It's just terrible.
You have to be around to wrestle to get noticed, and the majority of their AEW career, they've been wrestling singles because one of them been hurt. Usually Darius. So now it's Dante's turn.
They're injury prone. That's scary. They are injury prone. But think about this: MJF wrestles probably 4 times a year, and he's over. Just think about that. He barely wrestles and he's over. FTR barely wrestles. They wrestle way more than MJF.
Yeah.
But they're over. You see what I'm saying? It ain't about the wrestling per se. It ain't about how much you wrestle, how long you wrestle, how many 5-star matches you no. It's about if you make the audience feel for you, whether it is hatred or love or admiration. It's one of those. Make the audience feel. Don't put on a spot fest or be a spot monkey in the ring. That ain't helping. That's a TV show that you're not going to remember. You want them to talk about you, and the only way you're going to get them to talk about you is if you have something worthy of talking about. So you go out there, you get into a program with somebody, and you make the audience feel that moment. I don't like that you went and got a title shot before me. I don't like that, I remember you injuring me a time ago and they wouldn't let me get a hold of you, but you know what? They done took the chains off now. Something,
Yeah.
You've been eyeing my girl since I got here, and I'm about to knock the stare off your face. Something. But they're hot-shotting, and that's it. And that's not sustainable. Not like they think. They're catering to the key demographic. They're not catering to the wrestling fans. And there's far more wrestling fans than the key demographic. Far more. They're just waiting for wrestling to happen somewhere. That's all it is. There are 6 million people out there. Okay, 320 plus million people in this country. You can't tell me that 10 million people don't want to watch wrestling. No, you're not telling me that. They're out there. You just have to get to it. So that's just one issue. I'm not going over the rest. But that's what AEW's got to fix. They gotta speak up. They gotta use the stories as it's thrown in their face. They've got to get these people cutting promos. They've got too many legends, too much, ring generalship talent
to not utilize it to make a better product.
Yes. I'll just say this one last thing real quick and I'm out. AEW lacks style. That's what I wasn't going to say. But they lack style. There is no AEW style. There is nothing that separates AEW from either WWE or the independents. They lack style. WWE has got a style. The NWA has a style. If you don't have a style, then you don't have a base to cater to and grow. The independents don't grow. They don't. If they did, they'd be over. They'd be on TV doing stuff all day, every day. But they don't. Right now, so long as Tony Khan keeps pumping money into this money pit, they'll be all right and they'll be on TV. But once that money run out and he has to earn it, that's when you'll see his true leadership abilities. That's when that'll come out. So y'all stay safe, y'all stay chill, and see you next time.